And to no one's surprise, it's now coming out about how the US government is amassing large amounts of sensitive and intimate data on its own citizens. This again is no surprise. We knew this was coming. And how they do it again is of no surprise by purchasing the data from commercial data bank brokers. So they're buying all of this super sensitive, intimate data of us through people, brokers who are collecting this stuff. You're talking about like Amazon and Microsoft and whatnot. So by doing this, they bypass certain laws, ultimately creating a black market of extremely detailed information on all of us. So just like that Internet of Things video from the Watchdogs, they're talking about creating a profile of us that can be bought, sold, or stolen. This is exactly that. This is the black market for our data profiles, and it's going between the companies that collect them and the governments who want them. Our online profiles, our profiles, Internet of Things profiles, are literally getting bought and sold behind the scenes. That's what's going on. This is something that's really happening. And again, no surprise, companies like Apple, Microsoft, Cisco, Amazon, and others are all contractors of U.S. military and intelligence agencies. That's right. Apple, Microsoft, Cisco, Amazon, and others are contractors of the U.S. military and intelligence agencies. And so our computers, health monitors, internet networking products, and smart devices, all those devices are collecting our data, personal, private, intimate data that only we know, and selling it to the U.S. and other governments. Our profiles, all of our data is getting sold over there. You got to think, how many of you got a Microsoft computer? They've got a U.S. military and intelligence contract with the government. All that data is going straight there. Amazon products, same thing. Your Cisco stuff, that's like your routers and your modems and your networking, internet networking, all that data as well. There's, again, going dark, living off the grid, it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do, if you have a VPN, if you have all this stuff, they've got ways of getting in and getting that information. But again, we've got a God that knows infinity more about us than these guys will ever know about us. So that's always a comforting thought, in my opinion. The same companies that got eyes and ears into our most private lives are also contracted with the U.S. government. This is only one of the many ways that they invade our lives. You've got the Patriot Act, you've got the NDAA, or National Defense Authorization Act, and of course there's FISA, FISA, FISA 702. All these acts and policies are disguised as ways to protect what they deem as national security by surveilling foreign enemies, but in reality, they grant backdoor access for them to track, spy, and search us and our devices. All of these devices are deemed as national security efforts to spy on foreign entities, but they actually have backdoors for them to spy on us. Now, this is no surprise. FISA is one of the big ones and one of the programs that Snowden warned us about that grants warrantless surveillance on us. FISA is a big one, along with the other ones, of course, and we know that they just keep adding to them with all the Restrict Act and everything like that. But FISA, by the way, is supported by Biden, Trump, and DeSantis. So here we go with the theater of politics. Biden, Trump, and DeSantis all support FISA. And what adds even more weight under the notion of political theater, this is the political game that I talk about, is after Trump signed the 6-year extension on FISA 702, he then started railing against it. So he signed it. This was put out January 18th, 2018. Statement of President FISA Amendments Reauthorization Act. Today I signed the law. And if you take a look, he signed it January 2018. I would have preferred permanent reauthorization of Title VII to protect the safety. So he wanted permanent, but he settled for the 6 years. That is in 2018. If we take a look at something that he said in 2020, he then, this very same thing that he signed and wanted full forever authorization, he wanted it to go forever, he then started saying how bad it was. This is the political theater that I'm talking about, guys. This is exactly what I'm talking about. People will listen to what he's tweeting and what he's saying, but they don't realize that he actually wanted permanent reauthorization, and he signed it anyways. And this thing gives backdoor access to warrantless surveillance of our devices. I'm going to continue to tell you guys, don't get wrapped up in the political game. These people are actors. This is theater. They all want the same thing. It doesn't matter who it is. These puppets will continue to push the agenda forward, and mass data collection on us is their priority. Why? This is what we're going to finish it off with. Why do they want this mass data so bad? I mean, we've talked about various aspects of why they have it, but really, what is it for? We're going to head over to DARPA for their active authentication program. This will tell us exactly why they want so much data on us. In a nutshell, this is about creating a flowing, uninterrupted identity verification system that validates your identity using biometric data that will continuously check your real-time movement patterns with your stored patterns in the system. This is just like the haystack program we were telling you. It's about identifying if somebody is doing something that's atypical of what they would normally do. This is why. It's a verification system that will continuously check your real-time movement patterns with your stored patterns that they have in your identity profile in your system. Now we're getting a picture of why they're collecting our patterns of life. They need to be able to verify us in any way possible, not just through our face and our eyes. They want to do it in any way possible. Now, if we take a look further into this thing, it tells us everything that we want to know. There's you, and there's your traditional range of biometrics, how you behave, your keystroke patterns, mouse movements, things like that. Then physical aspects of you, of course, your fingerprint, iris, vein pattern, facial geometry, DNA, eye movement. But they want, and this is what this system is built for, to collect data on the context that you exist in and the data from your own experiences. That's what it's collecting. It's collecting all of your patterns of life. So much so that if we look at this, active authentication, cognitive biometrics, voice, mouse dynamics, your computer usage patterns, internet searches, application use patterns, typing patterns. It's trying to get exactly how you move and how you think. Plus, we've got facial recognition, full or partial, eye movement, device orientation, and GPS location. How are you holding your phone? How do you normally hold your phone? Your finger images, gesture, and finger pressure. It wants to know how hard you tap, how you move your fingers normally. Grasping patterns and hand movement. How do you hold the thing? Your own heart rhythm. We've talked about how they've got lasers now that can scan your heart pattern, because our heartbeat is actually so unique. It's like another fingerprint, that every single one of us has a completely different heart beats, and they can recognize that. And your speed and body motion. It wants to know your thought processes, social programming, belief structure, files and programs. Everything. Everything. This is what they want right here. Right now, we've got the initial verification process, the current approach. You verify who you are, you walk in, and that's it. Verification stops after access granted. What they're aiming for is continuous verification program. So you're going to verify who you are when you walk in. Then once you're in there, It's going to collect data on your computer and your sensors, how you think, how you use your device, everything. Then it's also basically how you're moving around, how you move, how you communicate with people, the data that you're using, the search collection or the searches that you're doing, and it's going to continuously verify who you are the whole time. So it's not a one-stop check. They want to have the ability to verify you 24/7 as you move, just like the Haystack program. We talked also about how the Dallas school system is putting in an AI biometric system that's going to predict how the children is moving, and if it's atypical compared to what the child normally moves like, it will then put a warning flag saying that that child is about to do something. So this whole time we've been talking about the various reasons why they want a stored data that they're putting in these simulation programs of us, and they keep running simulations on all the data that they've collected of how we move, our speech patterns, how we think, who we talk to, what we own, what we do, and it's gathering all that data. That's what it's going to be used for. When you've got something like the Haystack program and this DARPA identity authentication programs, as we move about, doesn't matter if we're indoors, in work, in our own house, on the street, driving our car, this stuff is always going to be watching and analyzing. And if we do anything that is different than what we normally do, it's going to mark and flag us. And that's what they're aiming for. This isn't a movie. This isn't a TV show. This isn't a comic book. This isn't a video game. This is actually stuff that they're doing in real life. And this is going to play a part in the beast system. The Antichrist is always going to be watching you. And when you have your social credit score, it's everything that you do is going to be judged to make sure that you fit with what they want. This is the tangled web of what we're seeing. From the hackers that just hit these U.S. agencies, through the WEFPAC, through Russia setting up the digital fourth industrial revolution, to the Internet of Things, to the Haystack program, to all of the smart city technology, to DARPA. It all flows together. They're all being utilized to create this beast system that's coming in. And this isn't stuff that's coming later. This isn't stuff that we're waiting for. This is stuff that's actually happening now. And as Christians, as believers, we need to be excited about that, because that means Jesus Christ is almost here to take us out. Seriously, guys. I don't know about you. I know there's a lot of people that get afraid of this stuff, but I'm sitting there excited because I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to go home.